All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful, yet honestly misunderstood tools you have in your career, the offer. We're going to deconstruct it piece by piece so you can build one that doesn't just get a yes, but one that actually changes the game for you. You know, we're so often taught that an offer is just a transaction, right? A simple negotiation. But that view is way too small. A really well-crafted offer is, at its core, a form of help. And because you're helping people get what they want, it becomes a genuine form of power. I mean, does this sound familiar? You have this brilliant idea, you put a proposal together, and crickets. It just falls flat. If you've ever felt that frustration, you are not alone. That gap between a good idea and a powerful offer is exactly what keeps so many careers stuck in place. Now, take this for example. We'll say it's from an employee named Alex. And at first glance, it sounds pretty solid, right? It seems specific. But here's the thing. This is an incomplete offer. It's a really interesting idea for sure, but it's destined to fail because it's missing the critical architecture underneath. So what's the secret? How do you build an offer that really moves the needle? Well, the answer isn't about having a more creative idea. It's about being way more structured, way more complete. Let's dive into that architecture right now. See, a powerful offer isn't something you just improvise or hope for the best. It's designed. It has a specific blueprint, just like an architect would design a building. You wouldn't just start throwing up walls, and you can't just throw out an idea. Every single piece has a purpose. And here it is. This is the blueprint. Every complete, powerful offer has these 8 essential components. It starts with a committed speaker, that's you, standing 100% behind it, and a committed listener, someone who can actually say yes. Then you've got the nuts and bolts, the future action, a very specific date and time, and, this one is key, the conditions of satisfaction. But it also includes the human stuff, sincerity, a shared background, so you're speaking the same language, and the context of the bigger picture. If you skip even one of these, the whole thing can just fall apart. Okay, of all those pieces, this one right here is the absolute most important, and, wouldn't you know it, the one that's forgotten most often, the conditions of satisfaction. Put simply, this is where you both agree on what done looks like. It's defining the finish line before the race even starts. And this old saying just illustrates it perfectly. Being super specific about the outcome. That's not being picky. It's not being difficult. It's actually a profound act of kindness and responsibility. It saves everyone from wasted effort, frustration, and disappointment down the road. And the exact same thing is true for time. You see things like ASAP or by end of day. Well, whose end of day are we talking about? 5 p.m., midnight, another time zone? When you don't have a specific date and time, you are literally building risk right into your offer. That kind of clarity prevents the last-minute chaos that just kills trust. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because mastering this blueprint isn't just about getting one project approved. It's about changing your entire professional identity. It's not just about what you offer. It's about who you become when you start keeping these kinds of well-structured commitments. So the first big mindset shift we have to make is this. Making an offer isn't just a task you do. It's not an email you send or a form you fill out. No, it's way, way deeper than that. Because when you consistently design and deliver on powerful, complete offers, something really cool starts to happen. Over time, people stop seeing you as just a person who makes offers. You actually start to be an offer, a walking, talking promise of help and value in a certain area. And that's the bottom line. Your public identity, your reputation for being competent, for being sincere, for being reliable, that becomes your ultimate offer. The trust people have in you is what makes it easy for them to say yes. And this identity, it builds in 3 stages. First, you establish a presence. People notice you when you're in the room. Then you build stature. Your name starts coming up in conversations even when you're not there. And for a select few, you become a legend. That's when people you've never even met know about the value you bring. Okay, but having a rock-solid structure and a killer reputation still isn't quite enough. There's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's all about communication. You have to frame your perfectly designed offer as a story that people can connect with. And you can structure it just like a great story. First, you set the scene with the context. Then you introduce the challenge, the problem you're solving, or the opportunity you're chasing. Next, you detail the plan, that's your future action. And you finish by defining success. There they are again, those all-important conditions of satisfaction. When you frame it like this, it's so much more memorable and persuasive than just a boring list of facts. All right, let's put this all together and see it in action. We're going to go back to our employee, Alex, and watch what happens when we use this blueprint to transform that initial, weak proposal into a high-value offer that's almost impossible to refuse. I mean, just look at the night and day difference here. On the left, you've got a vague idea. It's basically a wish. But on the right, you have a complete, powerful offer. It's a real plan. It connects to the company's strategy, it defines success with crystal clarity, it sets a specific deadline, and it anticipates all the questions the listener might have. Seriously, which one of these would you say yes to? So when you boil it all down, the real takeaway is this massive shift in thinking. You're not just asking for something. You're not trying to get something from someone. You are offering a clear, structured, low-risk path to a future that you can both share. It's an invitation to build that better future together. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final question to really think about. Look at your work, your team, your biggest goals. Using this exact blueprint, what is the one powerful offer you could make tomorrow that would truly change everything?